examination. And I also presume that the same situation occurs with those that go to English school to study only specific subjects such as travel English or business English. So I would rather say if Japanese universities like to produce people that can actually have roles internationally, they should not focus on producing global citizens or global human resources, but they should focus more on considering what the essence of the capability to have active roles internationally would be. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Sayaka, same question.
I think Japanese universities should focus more on producing global citizens rather than global human resources. Because I feel Japan is an exclusive society, and to achieve globalization, I think Japan needs to be more inclusive. If we focus on refugees, Japan only accepts a few refugees in a year, while like US accepts millions of refugees, even though Japan has less and less populations. So Japan needs to be more inclusive, and I think global human resources. If Japanese global human resources go outside for a short time only for a job and come back to Japan, and also foreign global human resources come to Japan and go back to their country for a certain time, I think. And that doesn't really solve the problems of the world, I feel. So I think Japanese universities should more focus on producing global citizens.
Thanks, Sayaka. All right, the next question is dealing a little bit more specifically with your personal experiences in international education. Specifically, what aspect of your global education program do you find the most rewarding? Also, are there any potential downsides or disadvantages? Please don't complain about your school specifically. And what recommendations would you make to improve the global education programs in general in colleges and universities? So, okay, let's pass the mic to
I think like global education program is really like it makes me consider the like how to work with different countries people and like to solve the social problems to develop the social situation. Because in the spring break I joined alternative spring break, which is a week-long trip that focuses on specific social issues, and students bring what we learn back to our own campus and community. And during the trip, I saw many terrible environmental situations and worked with other trip members very hard. And I think and every night we had meetings, and we always explained many what they think and they saw. So I think I think it's very important because I'm so good here. Oh my god. But I think I think really important because it's to explain is really it's oh my god, I'm so good. I just saw like Japan universities need to get more opportunity that students can learn more. So I just say like school should give their students to more chances to see the like any programs like environmental pollution and to review their society. So yeah.
Great.
Okay, I think one of the most rewarding aspects of global education is basically the experience you gain through being through international environment and education. Because personally, I've been through local education in Singapore for 20 years, and then after coming here, it's completely different. So I thought, the things I learned was much more enriching compared to what I've learned before. And also, I think the downside. Well, I think the downside basically depends on the person's how they handle various situations. But for me, I don't think there's much of a downside. I guess the downside probably is just basically going back. If I'm being forced to go back to a local university, or I'll probably say no. That's the only thing. And recommendations, I guess. I guess it would be better, I think, to have perspectives from both Western and I guess Eastern or Asian perspectives instead of just cited to more Western, because I'm not supposed to say about school. Okay, not being in an American college, so most of the things taught is, I guess, from American perspective. So sometimes, I get a bit, I'm like, that's not it, So I guess sometimes it's better to have both, so that you can, so basically you can compete both, both in a Western society and more, I guess, Asian society. So yeah, I guess that's the only thing.
Thanks. I just meant I didn't want you to complain about any of the people in the room specifically. All right, so the next question is very important. So you guys are going to help everybody out here, right, with your perspective on this. Some Japanese students demonstrate low motivation by not coming to class, not doing homework, or sleeping in class. So the question is, what can universities do to increase student motivation? Why do students suffer from low motivation? What are the causes? Help us understand, please. You're awake, aren't you?
I actually, before I came to NIC, I studied for a Japanese university. Japanese examinations, and I studied for one year. So I went to cram school, and there were a lot of people, a lot of students who have low motivations, even though they decided to fight and study for the next year's examination. So, but I was not. I really enjoyed studying, and I like studying. So, from my perspective, the reason why some Japanese students demonstrate low motivations is that they have no objectives or reasons to study. For many Japanese students, studying is just an investment in their future. There is a Japanese word, shushinkoyo, which means lifetime employment. So many young Japanese students think about lifetime employment for their future. So, but seemingly the investment in the future sounds okay as a reason to study. Actually, they can sit down on the chair on the desk and study and concentrate on the study. But the problem is that the future is not invisible, or you can say vulnerable, especially for the young generations. So they can always, the futures can always change. Students can always change the causes to study. This is why a lot of motivations, I think. So universities, in my opinion, universities can do nothing as long as this problem. Above all, universities are where students come to learn and not to be taught how to study or increase their motivations. It's not a kindergarten, I think. All they can do, all universities can do, is to provide profound and well-organized lectures for students who have high motivations. And as for the low motivation students, I think they should try to find out any interesting point in their lectures. That's their duty. And I think curiosity is the very start of studying. And if they have no curiosity, they should try to find. And if they have no energy to find, to just leave the universities.
Thank you. I'm going to give you the next question.
This was a hard question, but I think I have classes that I think, like, classes I don't want to go to and classes I'm really excited. And that's probably because the classes I don't want to go to, the professors, they don't have that energy of like teaching us sometimes. You could, like, sometimes students can tell that they don't have that energy to like teach us, but the classes I'm interested in, the teachers are funny or they connect with the students more, and it gets us like motivated more how they teach us. So probably it's the way they teach us or how they teach us and connecting with the students more, get them motivated. And the low motivations, probably too much homework could give them, maybe, yeah, like too much homework and keeping up could, get us low motivated. So, thank you.
Too much homework. We have one more question on our list, and I was reminded of this question before the last session that I attended, in which the moderator, a Lakeland teacher, and the camera operator, a Lakeland student, were speaking to each other in Spanish. And it made it even more global at our global education conference. So for many people, quote global or quote international has become equated with English. So how do you feel about what might happen to other foreign languages? For example, do you think a university student in Japan should have the right to focus on a language like French or Chinese or German and not study English at all? Ooh, I think that was Ria's question. Yeah.
Well, for me personally, I think they have the right to not study, but I think it's more of a useful tool to use. From my experience, when I was studying in Germany, I only studied a little bit of German and we used mostly English when I was studying abroad at their university. And well, personally, I think English may not be the common language or the lingua franca. I don't know how to say it, but a common language. It may not be because technology is advancing in a way we can't tell. Maybe they're going to be a universal translator, so maybe we could probably specialize in our own language, and maybe our translator is going to translate for us. So maybe we should improve our own language compared to common English language, to just to get your own your thought through to other people. So I think that it's alright not to choose, but for now, for the next 10 or 20 years, I think English will be a dominant business language for now. Thank you.
All right, thanks. So I guess we have about 10 minutes or so if there are questions from the audience. Everybody's going to have to use their outside voice today to ask their questions because the microphone doesn't stretch very far.
Okay, I have a question for Kazuaki. Okay, because I know that you were at NIC and LCJ for a year in the middle of your medical school program. So when you went back to medical school, was there any kind of culture shock in returning to that after this, or was there any difficulty adjusting?
Thank you so much, Kurt, for the question. And actually, we have like 6-year program in the medical school, and for the first 4 years, we have lectures. So we finish all the stuff to remember. And after the 2 years, we do like clerkship. We do rotation in the hospital. So I had a year off at my medical school at the end of the 4th year, which means I just finished all the lectures, and I also take the national examination for the clerkship. So basically, I remembered everything. So and I'm not doing like clerkship, so I just remember, and I just studied for that. So there is no I can say difficulty for me in terms of knowledge and everything. But I think with the year of my experience in LCG and IC, I had lots of chance to actually talk and also make presentation, this kind of thing. So actually that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go to NIC or LCG, because we were not trained to do presentation or express our own ideas. So after going back to my university to do clerkship, basically in my group I have 8 members. And although professor or doctor, they ask questions, I'm kind of awkward because I just kind of forgot how frequently I can express my ideas, or I don't. Do you know the word feel the atmosphere? Mm-hmm. Because basically when we say something, we need to know what other people are thinking. And this is something that I didn't have to do in NIC or FPGA. But so I stare on my other members for testing out the result, and then after that I just need to decide whether I should say my idea more or not. And also some teachers, professors, they do not find it okay for me to express my idea strongly. So that can also be a problem. So in that case I have kind of culture shock. Yeah. But I'm kind of excited.
Thank you.
Dr. Tompkins.
This question's for An. So at Sonoma State, you did the alternative spring break and the sustainability work. When you did the alternative spring break, was that more of an American-based focus of content, or was there some internationalization, or how to use those tools that you learned, or skills that you learned? Say when you came back.
I feel but I feel we focus on more international program, because when I went to community forest, there are many trash, but many people using their forest to hike, but trash program is international program, right? So I feel also we went to we went to the farms and water, how to say, recycling water plants. And I feel it's more international, and that's why I feel in Japan, schools should have the opportunity, to give students to learn more environment, international programs, something like that.
All right. We have, oh, how about the gentleman in the...
Yeah, I have a question. Since a couple of you touched on future, or more appropriately futures, in 2050, I'm thinking that most of you will finally be in positions in Japanese society where people will actually listen to you, right? You'll be in your mid to late 50s, is which people start to listen to you at that time, various society. Most of us might not be around at that time. I'm hopeful I will be. But I'd just like, whoever wants to handle this one, what would be one preferred aspect of Japan 2050 that you would like to see?
35 years from now, what would you like to see in Japan?
Anything?
Kaoru. Brainstorming.
I have a friend from the U.S. Actually, the words maybe not appropriate, but he's black. And he said that in a crowded train, no one sit next to him. And I hate it in this country, okay? Japanese people are sometimes tend to be racist without thinking, okay? So I hate it, so I hope they have more, okay, global or international, or not judging by the nationality. Mine is okay? Yeah, I hope they have it. Because I hate to be racist. Yeah, thank
you. Anybody else? Japan in 2050? That's, you're here. We asked you to come because we knew you'd have something to say, Charisse.
Okay. I hope Japan in 2050 is to have, like what you said, something similar. Okay, more diversity, and I hope, of course, Japan can work towards having bilingualism. I think it will really help the whole economy to come up, because I think one of the things that's kind of restricting that is because of language barriers. You know, coming to Japan to work, I have to learn Japanese. You know, which, you know, I mean, to me, it's kind of a struggle sometimes with grammar and stuff. And I hope that, you know, in 2050, that if there's bilingualism, like, anyone can just come to work, and, you know, and also Japanese citizens can go up anywhere else to work too. It's like, I think it's two-way thing, so I think it would be good for Japan, based on, you know, international perspective.
I agree. All right. Mr. Kirtley had a question as well.
I just wanted to know, what advice would you give any incoming students to university? What advice would you give them? Like something that you may have wished you would have done, maybe you regretted not doing, or maybe doing better?
Okay. I'm transferring to a college, and I took many sociology class here, so I a little bit regret about it, because it's really difficult to transfer the same sociology class to another sociology. So I guess maybe some students prefer more sociology or any like languages, humanities, but I guess they should take more science classes, and I recommend it. Thank you.
Yo.
So,
Sorry, I was stepping on you.
I would say, well, if I was going to go to university and like get to talk back in time, I would say be a little bit more curious, because there was a lot of things that I learned in like university, but I kind of knew already in high school. So maybe if I was in high school, maybe I went more deeply into that. Maybe I'll have a more profound knowledge when I come back into university and study about it as a main course of subject. That's all.
Advice. Let's have one more comment here, Charisse.
I think for future students is, I guess, don't be afraid to explore. You know, sometimes, like, well, for my case is, you know, sometimes, like, I'm going to England, and I got, there's a moment where I became so afraid to go to England, because it's going to be Western, you know, completely European. so I got scared. So I guess, you know, one thing is don't be afraid to explore and take the jump, you know, just wing it, you know, that's how they say it. Oh yeah, just, you know, be brave, because you're still young, you know, you have time to make mistakes. And you have your family around and friends, so yeah.
I think be brave is a good note for us to end on. Let's give a big round of applause to our 9. Thank you very much, guys. That was fantastic. You're very brave. Good job. Excellent. We've got 4 excellent panels beginning in 14 minutes. 2 of them are in this building and 2 of them are in the Lakeland building, where I think you all have been. Once again, thanks for coming. Thank you. Good. Yes. Yes. Rocks.